Welcome to this edition of the Spartan Sports Arena, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on TV3, and I also thank AD of CHS, Brent Duncan, to join Sam and me on tonight's show. I understand there's going to be a girls sectional coming up.
Yeah, we're going to host a girls sectional this next week, starting on Tuesday night.
Good deal.
Awesome. We haven't had it since 2013, 2014, so rolling back around to Spartan Bowl, and it's I think coaches had a good time today, and look forward to a good tournament next week.
So you got it all planned out and everything?
Well, we're working on it.
Okay.
Rolling in the last changes, but things are going okay.
Pairings are at 6 o'clock on Tuesday. Richmond, 11 and 10 on the season, will be meeting Pendleton Heights, who is 14 and 7. At 7:30, it will be New Palestine, 13 and 6, and the Spartans will be playing that crew. Spartans are 8 and 12. So a busy Tuesday night, opening night.
Yeah, hopefully be packed and be a good crowd, and you know, it's a good draw for everybody. I don't know that there's anyone that's just a powerhouse overall favorite. We've all had close games. I think we played New Pal early and got beat by 4, if I remember correct, and
at their place.
At their place, so hopefully we can turn to fortunes. We've had a couple injuries, and hopefully we'll be ready. And
we've played. We've beaten a couple of the teams that are in this.
We beat Mount Vernon and Greenfield.
Right. So
lost a close one to Rushville, lost a close one to New Pal, and
close one to Richmond,
Pendleton, close one to Richmond, and Pendleton. We were even with them after we kind of got behind after the first quarter. We played the next 3 quarters pretty even. So I think it's open.
Each other beating each other. That's a Tuesday night pairing. On Friday night at 6 o'clock will be Mount Vernon. They drew a bye. They're 9 and 11, and they'll play either Richmond or Pendleton. And at 7:30, Greenfield Central, who is 8 and 12, will play either the Spartans on New Pal, depending on what happens Tuesday night.
Well, I hope it's a red and white win, and it's our red and white and not their red and white.
And then the winners from Friday advance to 7:30, the title game on Saturday.
7:30 start on the one game on Saturday night, and then the winner of that advances to the Decatur Central Regional the next week. So,
what are the prices of tickets?
Tickets will go on sale tomorrow at 8 o'clock at the athletic office. Right now, you can only buy the season passes, which is for the whole tournament. Those are $10, and you need a ticket if you're first grade and up in order to come to the sectional. All sports tickets don't count, and so you have to buy the IHSA tourney ticket. And then if you don't want to buy the season pass, you can buy single session tickets each night at the door for $6.
And when will the doors open?
Doors will open 1 hour before tip-off. So we'll open the doors at 5 o'clock on Tuesday night.
And Friday, and 6:30 on Saturday.
Correct.
Sounds like a great sectional coming up. Let's hope we get a break from the weather.
Well, if you remember right, the last time I had it, 13-14, it was about 6 inches of snow and miserable.
That's AD's fault.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
Yeah, that's the guys that control the weather when sectional time comes.
It's like one year when we were playing the Indianapolis schools, and we were the only one that wasn't an Indianapolis school, that we had some bad weather, and they decided just to play the championship game back in Indy.
Like,
that's been a long time ago.
I think that's when Pam was in charge, but I think I remember that. So. But I remember last time I called the 4 schools that were traveling the night it was snowing. They said, nope, we all can get there, and we're all coming. So it's like, okay, we'll get the lot as clean as we can get it. So
it's hard to postpone a sectional game.
Yeah, it just bumps everything back, and then messes up the next week for the regional, and trying to get practice times in at the regional games. And if everybody wants to have their meetings, as soon as the sectional's over, so you can go see the site and practice there, and it just makes it a little bit more difficult if you can't get it in on by that Saturday. So hopefully it looks like the forecast is calling for good weather. So
that's good.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Won't hold my breath. It's Indiana.
Speaking of the Lady Spartans, they tangled with the Rushville Lady Lions at Spartan Bowl on Saturday night. TV3 was there. It was a pretty good ball game. The coach said he felt they played very well in one of their better games. So, as I said, TV3 was there. So let's see some of the highlights in the Spartans' loss to the Lions, 42-39, but it was well played. Here's the opening quarter of the ball game. Jessica Beckman, number 21, hits for CHS. Connersville, the girls played very well.
Talked to Mike a little bit today. He thought they played about as hard as they played all year.
Yes.
We've had to make some lineup switches, with Maddie Gregory being hurt. Different girls will get a chance to step in and step up. I did not get to see this game as at Batesville, but
right, that was
the last 3 or 4 I thought we played was a little bit more intensity. And
Marley Smith was number 3 who hit that 3-pointer there right now as a Spartan score, and That was Jessica Beckman again. Jessica had a very good game, number 21. And Rushville's defense held Marley Smith down quite a bit. And she didn't have one of her high-scoring games like she usually does. She went into the ball game with a 15.4 point per game average for CHS. Some of the cheerleaders.
You know, like all good coaches, they obviously know Marley's our best scorer, so they're going to put their best defender on her.
Yes.
And that just means
yes.
that the girls have to step up to the challenge.
That was Lauren Thompson hitting a 3 from the out, so a lot of threes early in the ball game from both teams.
Year in and year out, there's quite a rivalry with the Lady
Yes.
Lions, and of course they're most years they're ranked and highly thought of, but over the years we've had some great games with them.
Yes, we have. It was it came down to the final wire almost. The Spartans missed a layup, which would have pulled them within 1 point with.
One guy sitting in my seat there.
Well, you offered them
I
the
did.
opportunity to sit there. I'm
I
sure
know.
that'll be a little hard for you to adjust back to that area.
There's a shot put up and in by Lauren Thompson as this game neared an end. Yeah, Rush was a good ball game. I think they'll do well in their sectional, their Class 3A sectional.
You know, Coach said we had a couple of big misses where we had opportunities to get the rebound and just didn't pull them in. And you know, they go to the line and make another free throw, which you could have cut the lead or taken or tied it there.
But it was a good ball game, well played on both sides, and a couple of breaks for the Spartans would have perhaps given them the victory here. They missed some free throws. The free throw shooting was not good, and that was one of the factors of that ball game.
Lauren Thompson sticking that.
Right, number 12.
That was a big one.
Had a good
Cut it to
game.
1 with 5 seconds to go. Gives you a shot to 6 seconds, I guess.
Yeah, they can continue playing. And of course, they've got 2 games this week as the season is winding down. If they can build some momentum, who knows, Coach?
Well, it's always good to be playing your best and feel like you're
Yes.
competing right here at this sectional time. You know, any coach should hopefully be preparing towards that goal at the end. We'll find out tonight as we travel to Franklin County here in just a few minutes to take on the Lady Wildcats for our 3rd or 4th attempt at getting this game in.
Yeah,
So,
finally. Huh?
I told Coach Sackstetter down at Franklin County Day, he said, hey, I think we're going to be okay to play. And I said, yeah, thank goodness this isn't snow or we'd be looking for another date.
That's
So,
true. That's true. With
Yeah,
the
we're
precipitation
running out
there.
of time here.
Running out of time. So,
It was rare that we would play on a Monday night.
oh, it'd be very rare because it'd be hard. You know, we tried to move Tuesday, but he had something else. And I think they're playing Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. And we had to help East Central a little bit out. That's why we moved our girls' game from Wednesday to Thursday because East Central was trying to schedule a couple games at the beginning of the week. And just gets kind of hectic at the end.
And
So,
really, that's probably not a bad deal moving that game to Thursday because with the girls having to play tonight on Monday night, give them another day to prepare.
yeah, it'd be all right. Plus, you know, as you're getting this time of the year, sometimes those couple midday games are kind of like the sectional. So you're going to play and get a couple days off and play, and then you're going to turn around and play again. So maybe not quite like the sectional, but that short turnaround time and preparing for each other that's a good chance for a learning experience for our kids.
Franklin County is 8 and 11. They have a 40 point per game offensive average. They give up 47.6 on defense. East Central is 13 and 8. They're 50.9 offense, 41.3 defense. So a couple of pretty good teams you guys are going to face this week.
Michael talked a little bit today. I think East Central's kind of had some struggles at the record. Some of their girls have been hurt on and off, about 3 to 4 of them consistently here in the last 2 or 3 weeks. And I think he thinks they're all back this week, so according to their coach. So, and if you look at their roster, I think they have 4 or 5 girls that are over 6 foot tall. So, you know, that doesn't help us when we have size because we don't have a lot of that size.
That's true.
So
That's true.
hopefully we can take care of the ball on Thursday night and get a win tonight and get another one going into the tournament before we start taking New Pal on Tuesday of next week.
While TV3 was at the game with Franklin County, you guys wandered down south to Batesville and saw a boys' game. Sam and Brett, tell us about it.
Well,
It was one of those nights that I think whatever they threw up was going to go in.
yeah.
I would have to say they hit 10 or 11 threes.
The Barker kid, I think, had 27 points for them, and he was nearly unstoppable.
And I know even Kerry had talked a little bit, Coach Brown, that they even fouled the correct 2 people they wanted to foul because based on their shooting free throw percentages that were in the 50s and low 60s, and they made them all. So
It's one of those nights.
and they threw the 3-quarter shot in at the end of the halftime to go from a 23-23 tie to a 26-23 lead. And I was sitting up in the stands, and I told my wife, I said, that thing's good, because you could tell from the moment it left his hand from 3/4 from 58 feet away that it was on track. So.
But a couple extra steps before that.
Probably.
Before that went off is what people tell me that
I'd
they've
have to go
reviewed the
back
film.
and look. So, you know, there's always those little. Everybody remembers those big funny plays, and then you forget all the little things, the missed layups and the non-block out and the missed free throw and the turnover that you made in the second quarter that put you in that spot.
Yes.
And then we got the lead late in the game and had an opportunity to increase it and missed a couple little bunnies on the inside. And they made some shots.
Only because guys were hanging all over.
Well, you know, that could happen. And then, you know,
but you know, the guys got down and they came back. They came back twice, and you know, I thought they showed a lot of grit there, and you know, just ran out of time. Basically, if they'd had another 5 seconds, things could have been different.
Well, you know, we got a look. You know, I don't know if we got a great look, but we got the ball back with 2.5, and Garrett got it to half court
and was hammered, but
got a block, fouled, whichever, and then, you know, just those little things. But I thought if we could ever get to a 2-possession lead, that would have made a little bit of difference. Every time we got a little lead, they hit a 3, got back in lead, and we could have stopped them a couple stops in a row and got a couple possessions up. That, of course, that changes Carey's philosophy and what he does with the basketball that late in the game, so it would have been a little bit tougher for him to feel more relaxed about, in my opinion, of being in the game. You know, when we're up 6 with 2 minutes to go, you know you're going to have to play some hellacious defense to get the ball back, because it's going in a deep freeze, and we're going to take free throws and layups. So, but that's how you win, and that's how we have to play to win at the next level. And so that draw will be coming around the corner before you know it. So
February the 18th will be the draw for the boys section.
it's knocking on the door right now. So
49-48 was the final at Batesville for the Spartans. Knocked them out of the conference top spot a little bit.
well, that's the first time we've had a loss since about December of 2014 in the conference.
23 straight conference wins. So.
That's phenomenal, and
really
we knew that sometime eventually that streak would end. But
right.
But
we need to start another one.
We'll start another one.
Right.
Well, I think we still control our destiny. We need a little help from somebody. Greensburg has not lost yet, so we need East Central.
East Central
Except us.
Except for us. So if we control our destiny with 1 loss apiece, and they have 1 loss apiece. East Central has not lost yet, but they've only played 2 conference games.
Yeah, they've got 5 conference games to play yet.
Still a lot of games to go. So as long as we keep winning and we hope some of those other people beat each other up, we could be on the top of the conference by ourselves again.
We might talk about the schedule this week for CHS. Let's see what's going on. As we talked about here for a while, girls basketball will be at Franklin County tonight. The freshman basketball championship is at Lawrenceburg.
Yeah, they're in the second round today. Starting at 6, we're playing Batesville. Batesville beat us by 7 early in the year, and so hopefully we'll get a little revenge factor, and if we win the night, we'll go back and play in the championship game Wednesday night.
That's be quite an honor. How's the freshman team doing on the season?
They're just right around 500.
Okay.
So, you know, of course, 2 of the freshmen are up. Sebastian's on the JV and Jonah's on the JV, so that's their point guard and their 6'5" guy. So
right.
There's some kids that are having to learn some different roles. So.
Yeah, right. On Thursday, the girls basketball will be hosting East Central. That's the final regular season game.
It's hard to think that
it
seems like we just started, and Sam will be counting on that countdown for next year in short order here.
Yeah.
Hopefully in a few weeks yet. But.
Well, I always wait until the boys are done, and then we'll have the count on.
But hopefully it'll be a little while down the road. So.
I hope so.
And the gymnastics team is meeting Muncie Central, as far as I know.
Yeah, Thursday night, gymnastics at the high school starts at 6:30, Muncie Central. And then
be great there. They're doing well, those gymnastics.
Yeah, they haven't been beat yet. They'll have a couple good testers coming. Columbus East will be coming in a couple weeks, and they're always solid. And we have our invitational in February, and it's got Ron Colley and Columbus North and Northwestern and Noble. I don't know Noblesville anymore, but Western, and it's a nice little tournament run. So,
boys basketball takes on Mount Vernon at Spartan Bowl on Friday night, and the freshman team comes to CHS2 to play.
Yeah, we'll have the varsity JV in the bowl, and at 6 o'clock the freshmen will play in the Spartan Arena there at the middle school as well. So we'll have all the JV and the boys and the freshmen and boys all going on at the same time.
It's great, great. And then on Saturday, the boys basketball, Spartans play Indianapolis Manual at Spartan Bowl, and the wrestling sectional will be beginning at Franklin County at 9 o'clock Saturday morning. So,
Busy week.
yeah,
So.
sounds like a real busy time. At the middle school, it will be boys' white basketball teams at Knightstown today, and the girls' white basketball team is playing Richmond Dennis at Spartan Arena. On Wednesday, the girls' red basketball team meets Newcastle at Spartan Arena. Thursday, the wrestling team will be home to South Dearborn, and the boys' white basketball team closes their season playing at Greenfield. And Saturday, the wrestling team will be at Franklin County, and it's an invitational or a four-way. What's that mean?
If there's a four-way, there's 4 schools, and you'll just wrestle a dual meet with all the other 3 opponents. So.
Okay, so that's kind of how things are shaping up this week. We might talk about the records of the area girls since this is the final week of the regular season. Cambridge City is 10-9. Their last game was a loss to Blue River. They're home to Union County on Tuesday. Union County is 8-11. They won at Knightstown. They're at Cambridge City Tuesday. Centerville is 4-15. They lost to Tri last game. They're home to Union Modoc on Tuesday. Rushville is 10-12. They defeated the Lady Spartans. They'll be at Heritage Christian on Thursday. Franklin County is 8-11. They lost to East Central. They're home to the Lady Spartans today, as we mentioned. Richmond is 11-10. They lost at Lafayette Jeff. They'll be home to Jay County on Tuesday. Area boys, let's see how they're doing. Centerville is 6-7. They won at South Decatur. Their next game Wednesday at Union County. Union County is 11-3. They won at North Decatur. They meet Centerville at home Wednesday. Cambridge City is 6-8. They lost at Princeton. They'll be at Northeastern Friday. Rushville is 2-12. They lost at Northeastern. They're home to Morristown on Tuesday. Richmond is 6-10. They won at Garin Catholic. They're home to Harrison West Lafayette on Friday. Franklin County is 4-9. They lost to Batesville. Home to West Harrison, Ohio on Wednesday. That's how things are doing. Franklin County will be coming to Connorsville for boys basketball, not too far away, and that was that cancer night and everything?
Yeah, I think that's February 16th, if I remember off the top of my head, and it's the Beat Cancer in Four Quarters night. So
Right.
anybody wants to help donate a little bit of money to the high school, we always take them on, and not only who can raise the most money, but we also give out a little award for who can win the game. So got a chance to bring home 2 trophies on that night. So
That's that's a great event and everything. This week, as we talked about, Mount Vernon is 7-6. They come to Connorsville on Friday. They have a 67 per game offensive average, 67 points. They give up an average of 66. And Indianapolis Manual is 9-6. They're a 66.5 per game average on offense, and they give up an average of 53.9. So a couple of tough games.
yeah, I think our last 2 or 3 weeks have been pretty solid
Yes.
with Greensburg and Newcastle, and then you got Batesville this week, and the next week, Mount Vernon probably feels like they owe us a few after 6 overtimes last year with us in 2 different games, and then, I think Manual last year they were a very good basketball team, but I think we took them out of their game at Banker's Life, so I'm sure they're going to come to Spartan Bowl for the first time with a little taste of revenge in their mouth, and I think they got another 6-7 kid that's come to Manual this year, so we'll try. I'm sure Coach Brown will do a few things to take the air out of the ball and play our style if we can do that.
I think we kind of frustrated them last year at Banker's Life. Hopefully we can do that again this year.
Well, there's so many, whether you're in Fort Wayne or the region or Indianapolis or Evansville or wherever you're at, it's a different style of basketball for a lot of times, and then you come out to our place and Cary plays a totally different style, so you're not used to that.
Sure.
We saw that with Ben Davis last year. We did not frustrate Ben Davis because they played that possession style basketball that we do. But we frustrated the Ballard School out of Kentucky and Manual and other teams who like to get up and down the floor and score. Well, when you got to play defense for a minute and a half, it takes a lot out of your body. It's a lot easier just to run down and shoot and have a good time. But it takes a little work to get down and play some defense and do it the right way.
Will Manuel continue to be on the schedule, or?
But we'll have to discuss. This is the last year of the contract, so
Okay.
Coach Brown and I'll talk if we want to keep him on, if we want to look for somebody different. The other school that's in that situation is Northeastern. So,
Right. Remember you.
and then next year, Centerville, which is next Saturday, in the afternoon game at Centerville. That will be our last year we play them, and the year after that, Lawrence North will be on that spot.
Okay.
So
That's a big difference.
you got to make a little bit of adjustments because you don't want to kill yourself as you're making those. So, you know, when you put a little tougher on there, sometimes you got to keep one that you have, or you may try to find someone that's not quite as powerful that you think Lawrence North would probably
Yeah.
be year in and year out. So we used to play them a long time ago and played them fairly well a long time ago.
Yes, we
So-
have. Back in the days of Howard Renner, he liked to play him. He always wore his fish tie because he
Just
always
loved Jack Kiefer.
thought something smelled up there. But
I can say there's probably no love lost between him and Kiefer of his days at Cathedral.
I
in
don't
Lawrence
think
North.
that,
So
I know there wasn't. But Jack Kiefer, he's
been that school's only coach. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly how long. I know
it's been a long time.
Well, I know in the middle 70s he was the head coach at Oak Hill High School, which was my arch rival high school, and they went to the semi-state in '72 with two little 5'7" guards, Monty Town, who played at North Carolina State with David Thompson, and then probably shortly thereafter, in the middle of '70s, he went to Lawrence North. So I bet he's been there 40+ years. So
Gee. Put the
Been very
building, built the
successful.
building around him, huh?
Yeah.
he's built some players around him with Montross, and just go down the line.
Right.
The Webb kid, and there's many of them.
Yes.
I want to ask you what I've been asked by people. These little kids running around with bottles of water and a towel for their referees. How did that start? And
Well, Pam, it had always been going on, and Pam did it. And
okay.
then they started doing it for the girls, and Joey Seidel's two little girls have been interested in doing it. And I can't tell you exactly who. Ari kind of helps, and then Chris and Julie Bell's little boy likes to do it, and they've just got his little buddy. I think there's a little boy. Last name is Moore, and
Jeff
so
Moore's boy.
so
yeah.
I think they're just.
Does this happen anyplace else? I've never seen it.
You know what? I don't really notice anybody running out on the court. but
I never see.
I think they enjoy that. I get calls and say, "Can I?" I know Joey called me and said, "Anybody doing the girls for the girls?" And I said, "Well, no." He goes, "Well, Josie wants to do it, and we'll get Kinley." And of course, if you've seen Kinley the first time, she's about 2 foot tall, and Mom had to walk her the first couple times.
Yeah,
I
these
think
little
she's
boys
gotten
and
used to
girls,
it.
every time there's a break in action, here they come running onto the floor with a bottle of water and a towel for the officials.
The officials seem
do.
to like it. I've seen them kneel down and talk to
They
them.
do, right,
yeah.
right. But I've never seen it anyplace else, and I didn't know if you guys traveling on the road, if
I have
any other
not.
school does that or not. I
don't think so.
It's great.
I know we've done it at the tournaments, and I think it's helpful because that way, if, they get thirsty just like everybody else does
Sure.
down the floor. So
Sweaty and thirsty. And
Well, yeah, one boy ran up to the ref who had the ball, and the ref handed the kid the ball, and he was there dribbling the ball while the ref was drinking. This is great. This is really something, and those kids must really
they
have
enjoy it, I
memories.
think.
Yes.
They sit right down there front. They're right there, and most of them are pretty much paying attention to the game, but they're waiting for that whistle to blow to know if they should run out there or not.
It's another thing that brings folks to Spartan Bowl, I
There
think.
you go.
Is that right? We understand a couple weeks ago you were honored by going to Indianapolis and joining the IHSAA people.
Yeah, I ran for District 3, which is the southern part of Indiana, 4A class represented to be on the IHSA board, and you had to be elected in, and I got elected in. So I had an orientation meeting a couple weeks ago, and then my term will start July 1st and run for 3 years. And I don't know all the things that are detailed, but you attend state finals, you hand out ribbons, you hand out awards.
Principals, what did you in?
Principals and athletic directors in the
Okay.
southern part of the state.
Okay.
So there's 3 districts from north to south. So.
Okay, you are on the board of directors, or you're also on the executive committee?
Well, I don't know if they call them the same, but
Okay.
but the executive committee would be more probably like the assistant commissioners and the commissioners. So
And you kind of,
there's 19 of us all together. So
you make rules and regulations and see if they're
we'll make them
enforced?
bylaws. We'll get to vote on bylaw changes and
Okay.
suggestions that people bring in for every year in May. They bring their bylaw changes, and they have a retreat in June, and you vote on them and make the change or don't make the change. You help align tournaments for football and basketball and softball and baseball and.
You govern all those sports, don't you?
I do now. I'll find out what's in the line. So I learned a lot about what I didn't know when I was at the meeting. So
Does the IHSA also control middle school sports?
no, the middle school can
okay.
belong to the association, but they don't govern.
I see.
They
Okay.
don't govern.
Well, I knew high school was in the title, but I thought maybe as an offshoot they had
But
something to do with
I would say
middle
most
school.
schools follow the bylaws of the IHSA. I know ours does.
Yes.
With attendance and practices and physicals. So I would say that most of the schools around the state will probably do that as well.
Since we were talking about the Batesville gaming officials, does the IHSA send representatives out to observe officials? Are these guys rated? Is that they're chosen for finals and so on and so forth? How much of that?
Well, there is
comes
a
out?
survey that comes out for every
Okay.
sport that has a team, more team. But they do have them in track and cross country where you rate the officials. So, in fact, I just sent you have to send them in before the tournament. So Michael and I did the girls a couple weeks ago. I just sent Carrie his for the boys today. So they'll rate them anywhere from 1 to 5.
Okay.
1 meaning they're qualified to do the sectional, 5 meaning they're qualified to do state.
Can Fran and I get those ballots?
You cannot get those. But,
So I guess my original question was, does the IHSA send a representative out to a basketball and a football
probably
game to
not as
observe the
much as they
officials?
used to. We have had one observer at a football game this year. I
Okay.
have not had anyone come and ask me in the last 2 or 3 years about coming to the bowl.
So they have to
observe
get
it.
permission from you?
They usually call and just let
Oh,
you know
okay.
so they can get a seat.
I thought
somewhere
maybe it was just an
relatively close.
anonymous thing all the way through. They just appeared and
Yeah.
nobody
most,
knew about
Most of
it.
the time when they've come, they've called ahead and let us know they're coming, just so we know they're there. So
Yeah, so that's interesting. I was wondering if guys, come out from the IHSAA and report back to somebody. And I thought maybe they report back to you guys on the executive.
I do
and
know
board
we
of
had one at
directors.
football this year. He sat up in the box with us. And
Oh, okay.
I can't remember his name. I recognize him. He's an old basketball official. But I'll never pull. I'm going to say Larry Anderson, but don't quote me on that one. So.
Yeah, right. Well, it'll be an interesting closing of the season here. The girls about ending and sectional coming up, and then the boys will be starting late February with their tournament.
Yeah, it's just hard to imagine. It seems like it was just November and October. Not only that, we got the sectional for the wrestlers is this Saturday at Franklin County, and 2 weeks or Thursday I'm turning in the entry form for the girls swim sectional, which is in a couple weeks, and 2 weeks after that it's the boys, and we'll be in March, and we'll be thinking baseball and track and.
I was going to ask you if
Spring
you
sports,
had
so-
any opening dates for the spring sports for us or anything. But
We're actually playing 2 baseball games over spring break. One of them is against Lafayette Central Catholic at Grand Park in Westfield, and then we're going to play Delta, and then we'll open up I think April 2nd with baseball.
and
with
that's the last
Batesville.
week of
So,
March, isn't it?
Last week of March, so first time we've played any games on spring break. So.
You got snow shovel and all that.
Well, hopefully at Grand Park, if it's clear, we might be on one of those AstroTurf fields. So
Oh, that'd be great. Right.
it'd be interesting, to play a school from Lafayette in
Yes,
a neutral
yeah.
site, and it was relatively inexpensive. It was $100 to rent a field, so we'll split the
that's
cost.
pretty
We'll get
good.
a couple, 3 officials, and we'll.
Kind of
Travel
meet in the
to-
middle there from
If you've not been to that place in Westfield, it's an awesome place. My niece played lacrosse, came in from St. Louis and played lacrosse there this past summer. So, big lacrosse tournament. So.
That's great. I mean, you're looking forward to that. That'll be great. Baseball team. We have a lot of guys back. What's Scott looking forward to?
We'll be young. I think
Okay.
baseball's changed so much because of the pitching rules. So we're going to have to really develop some more pitchers that can get you through innings with the number of pitches. It used to be based on number of innings you pitch. Now it's just based on the number of pitches you pitch. Well, if you've watched high school baseball, it doesn't take long to get to 80 pitches sometimes. So
true.
you could be out in 2.5 innings if you're struggling. So I think that's going to change the way baseball. I hate to say it, you're probably going to become a specialist. You're going to have starters and middle guys and some closers just so you don't go over your pitches, so you can pitch a little more frequently than you used to. So
Thanks, Brent, for joining us tonight and all the information you've given us about CHS sports. Thank
I'm
you.
always excited to be here to talk about Spartan sports. In my life, there's nothing better besides my wife and my grandson and my kids. So
Thanks, everybody, for watching this edition of the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3. Good evening.